Welcome to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast, where we unlock the power within and navigate the journey of your self-discovery together. I'm Shaz, your spiritual mentor and life coach, here to help you tap into your inner guidance system and manifest your best life. Whether you're just beginning your spiritual journey or looking to deepen your practice, this podcast offers insights, techniques, and inspiration to elevate your consciousness and transform your reality. Get ready to shine your light and embrace your true potential. Remember, the answers are inside you. Let me be your guide on earth. Welcome back to the Spiritual Awakening podcast with Shaz. I'm your host, Shaz. Today, our topic is going to be about understanding spirit's subtle signs during the awakening period. When people start to awaken, one of the major signs that they start to see before they become fully aware of spirituality, their journey, is the 1111 awakening code. They see the quadruple one over and over again, and it's simply a sign that you are becoming more present, more consciously aware, and your intuition is starting to communicate with you more and more. The 1111 is known as the awakening code. It is part of the abundance and the aspect, and it's about awakening up to spiritual energy and vibration. But its base meaning and true in essence is just to get you to pay attention right now. It is there to say to stop, look around, what's going on around you, and be present in that moment and see what your spirit guides or the universe is trying to tell you. When you receive this sign during your awakening period, so many people talk about seeing it and then they come and ask someone more adept in the spiritual field of, I keep seeing 1111, what does it mean? And we tell them it's part of the awakening process, and the awakening process is just attuning to more energy and more vibration than what we are aware of on the 3D plane until we become more connected to it, to become consciously aware of what's going on and be a conscious creator. Rather than allowing life to float us by and to flow along with the stream or the river, we start making choices, become aware, and creating and asking for exactly what we want and need. Some other signs that we can see, they will send us things like animals or totem animals, repetitive numbers, the triple ones, or other repetitive numbers. There is different colors that we'll see. You can go, if you happen to go shopping and everyone that serves you is wearing a red shirt, even though you go to 4 different businesses, that is a sign in itself. So they'll use color, they'll use music, they'll use words, they'll use symbology. And usually seeing it once is not enough for most people. So they will repeat the sign over and over again, usually in bursts of 3, so that you pay attention, because usually after the third time you see it, most people go, oh, I've seen that again. And that's where our awareness and what awakens, and we become more conscious in the moment. For the most part, a lot of us walk around in our unconscious mode. We play on automated, and because you think about it, you get out of bed, you get dressed, you don't have to think about those processes. You have a shower, brush your teeth, get dressed, walk out the door, drive to work. How many of you have ever gone to work and gone, I'm not even sure how I got here, because my body automatically knows. We don't have to pay attention to it unless there's traffic diversions or problems along the way. So when spirit is communicating with you to give you these signs, they can be subtle. They can be just something passing by, like someone has a symbol on a shirt. So one of my big awakening processes was before I started becoming full-time in this business and working in creating my shop, I used to be haunted by my totem animal of a barn owl. And everywhere I go, someone would either mention it or I'd read about it in books that weren't about owls whatsoever. In TV shows, it would pop up. It would be on an ad, on a t-shirt, anywhere. And so I started to question, what was the meaning of that owl? And it was about spiritual awakening, the intuition, and to pay attention to what my intuition was saying. And at the time, my intuition was very adamant that I wanted to create and open my own crystal shop. And that first started back in 2008. I never opened my crystal shop until 2014. So sometimes they will lead you up in the process to make you aware of what's going on. And sometimes it's very instantaneous, and other times it can be very quite a long time before it all comes to fruition. There is universal timing. It was the perfect time for me to open my business in 2014. It all aligned and it come about in a way that was very monumental for me. And it opened me up in so many ways that it never would have before. But I've known that buy and hell has been with me for so long. And when I relocated my shop in 2015, I got a special reading done from a psychic, and I asked her to draw the guide that was associated to my business without even really telling her who I was. We sent her my initials, and it was about my business. And the picture that I got back is a beautiful barn owl that sits right in front of me. I'm looking at it right now. That is the epitome of my spiritual business and my connection of being of service to other people, how my intuition is here to serve, how I show up to heal people, and everything about it has a special meaning to it. So when these symbols come about, the one thing that you want to do is first pay attention to them and then sit back and ask yourself, what does that mean for me? What did a barn owl mean for me? So barn owls are night animals. They have very good night vision, but they're also very sensitive. And an owl is a symbol of wisdom. So I sat with my journal for a long time and said, what is the wisdom coming to me? And the wisdom that came was that I needed to step into a spiritual business, open a crystal shop in order to connect more people with their intuition and guide more people towards their own spiritual awakening. And that was the start of the pathway for me. In between 2008, when I first had it, and 2014, when I did open my business, I had a lot of healing to go through. I was also very sick throughout that time because of other things in my life, but it was my soul guiding me further along the pathway to create and be what I needed to be and to heal from my past. And that was more part of the journey because it kept talking to me to tell me to go and be more than I was allowing myself to be. I have so much wisdom that is meant to be shared, and I wasn't sharing it anywhere near the capacity that I am capable of sharing it. So when you find these signs, as I said, first ask, what does it mean for you? Because that is important. It's about you, so your interpretation matters. If you really don't know, there are a number of fantastic resources, but the easiest one available to everyone is Google. And just Google the metaphysical meaning of the sign, whether it's an animal, a symbol, a color, whatever the sign or message may be. The angel numbers. Angel numbers are things like 111, 222, 333, etc. If you go to Google, there's two major books out there that I've learnt from. One is Angel Numbers by Doreen Virtue, and the other one is Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. And they're very, very fantastic resources. And then Google has everybody else's opinion. And today I shared a new blog of my version of Angel Numbers because, yes, these books have guided my way, but I've also downloaded my interpretation of it, and I have what my shorthand is. And throughout this process of when you awaken and your symbols and signs from spirit, one of the first things that I teach people when they are getting into doing readings for other people or communicating with their intuition and guides is to make sure you create your own symbology dictionary. Because what one symbol means for you and that representation, what it means for me, are going to be 3 to 5 different things. So I just shared what the major angel numbers mean for me. Because after reviewing the books again, because I looked them up, I like to do research and I don't come on and share information with you blind. And my memory holds a lot of data, but no, I'm not an encyclopedia. So I do research and I go and look at what the different numbers mean. So 111 for many people means, so in Doreen's book, it's about instant, no, that's Kyle's book. Yeah, no, Doreen's book, instant manifestation, to keep focused on your desires and give fearful thoughts over to the universe, okay? And Kyle's book says that you are one with all that is. Know that all you are doing and giving is for the world. And sorry, I can't even read my own writing. But so it's about being at oneness, okay? And then other references where 111 means to trust your gut. And 111 for me is a sign of alignment, and it's like an instant manifestation sign. Usually 111 shows up when I know that something I'm manifesting is coming. So if I've been asking or doing my manifesting tips and things like that, and I see 111, I know I'm going to receive that item pretty much straight away. That's my interpretation of it. That is how I utilize it. There are multiple resources out there. So go and check and do reference if you want to go and see my blog or my version. And as I said, 111's a strong sign of alignment for your higher purpose and that powerful thoughts are manifesting into reality. You can go and see it on my website, which is under shazsini.com/blog, and then there'll be a blog called Angel Numbers. Or Google and do your own references. I'm not saying in any way that my version is the only version. Please don't ever take it that way, because it can change. The sign can be universal, but it will never have one specific meaning. Any sign or symbol that the universe sends to you and your highest self is a communication between you and them, and you need to create your own meaning for it. Yes, the universal meanings or what other people's opinions on those meanings out there may influence you and it may guide you, but ultimately you are going to create your own messages from all the different symbology that comes about. So when you're looking at signs and symbols throughout your day, going along, and just say we're all driving to work, right? And you see on a car 222, then you see another car and it also has a number plate 222, and you see someone, you're going about your day and you see that, look down at your watch, it's 2:22, you buy something and it costs $222. That's the universe talking to you. They have used multiple methods to get the same message towards you. 222 is all about balance and trust. It's about being in alignment and trusting the signs of what's right in front of you. So to pay attention and to look at the balance of life and to make shifts and adjustments where they need to be. The other thing is that if you're going about your day and you're shopping and you just happen to notice that the person at the chemist not wearing a uniform has a red shirt on today, and then you go down the street to the fruit shop and the person has a red shirt on, it's not a uniform again, and you're talking to a dear friend and they come up and they've got a red shirt on, the color red is communicating with you. For the most part, we walk around unconscious. We're in our own little world, thinking our own little thing, not truly seeing what is happening around us. So when your awareness is brought into clear, focused, and clarity, pay attention to that, because we literally walk around with our eyes closed. When you think about starting your day, you get out of bed, you go to the bathroom and have a shower, brush your teeth. You don't need to think about those processes. They're unconscious competence, so you can do them without any thought. We dress without really paying attention to our clothes, unless you are super fanatical about matching all your outfits, like some of my friends, and they have to match every color down to the nth degree. Most people think about it, go, that will do, walk outside. That's how you end up with different shoes on, odd socks, and things that don't match, because it's an unconscious motion. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you start to awaken up and become more aware of things in this world, you really start to pay attention to more of the signs out there. So just take note when things are stepping into place and you are seeing repetitive things. It can be like going throughout your day and hearing the same song on the radio in one shop, in a different shop, listening to it not by your choice and it's showing up. That can be a message in itself. So listen to the song, the lyrics, or whatever verse is capturing your attention at the time. Now, signs from spirit are subtle because most of us don't pay that much attention, but they will repeat them so that we become aware of them. Everyone would love it if your higher self and spirit guide could just have a great conversation and say, go and do this. But that takes away our free will. And as humans, the first major contract that we have is free will, the option of choosing what we do each day, how we communicate who we are, and how we go about our lives. And our higher self and soul will communicate with us through these signs to help guide and divert us back to the mission, but it cannot override that free will and make us do what it wants. So be mindful when you are starting to awaken, because most people awaken through tragedy or grief or because something drastic happens. But the subtle signs of awakening are little tidbits of synchronicities, of you thinking one thing. A synchronicity is talking about your dear friend with somebody else and them ringing you, texting you, or emailing you later that day. That is the universe conspiring to make that connection. Pay attention to these things. There is no such thing as coincidence. It is just pure alignment and synchronistic connection between your soul, the universe, and the greater collective oneness that we are in. As I said, there are different ways spirit will communicate with us. When it is loved ones, they communicate by flashing lights or turning the TV on and off, moving things, hiding things, bumping into things. So through sound predominantly or through the visual aspect. Our spirit guides can communicate through us by having the same message or same sentence said to us by multiple different people, because they will use their voice to speak to us through the different signs, through colors, through animals, through incidences throughout your day. I was talking to a client this week, and one of the things that she had is she had a minor accident in her car. So that was a jolt of awakening. And another aspect of throughout her journey was she accidentally stepped on dog poop. So I told her to look up the meaning of them. And in the general terms, both of those symbols have exactly the same meaning. And in her life, they made perfect sense when you put the stories together, when you paid attention to those signs. Because what happens when you step in dog poo, you stop and you really look around, unless you don't notice it until the smell gets you. But you become conscious and you become aware of your surroundings. So ask yourself, what is your spirit guide trying to tell you? What is important at this place, at this time, for me to stop, take a breath, ground myself, and look outside of the normal aspect of life? Look at the subtleties. What's the street numbers? What's the street name? What's the colors of the people around you? Is there someone in your sight that you know that you didn't actually see? Is there an important message for you in that? These are the subtle ways that your guides are going to communicate with you. You can also get downloads. If you get these tingles through the top of your hair and you're sitting there thinking and then amazing ideas come, or you've been mulling over a question or a problem and you don't know what the answer is, then all of a sudden you get this body tingle and then instantaneously the whole answer is right there. That's another subtle way that they can communicate with you. It takes time to learn how to understand what all the different communications mean. So as I said, create a journal, record your messages, synchronicities. We use tarot cards to interpret signs. We use oracle cards to interpret signs. There are many different methods and many different ways that we are going to bring together that information. Write them down. It's important because you'll start to see patterns. In one moment, one sign may be telling you one thing, and then over time it may adjust to mean something more clear for you down the track. The more you awaken and tune to your intuition, and especially when you're using it to communicate with other people, these different signs, symbols, and colors and meanings all become like a shorthand. There are certain signs that I know when they're for me because I take my version of it. And sometimes I will ask a client, does this particular thing mean something for you? Because their interpretation of what it means for them can be wholly different. Most of the signs and symbols that we do come across, or numbers, patterns, whatever they may be, are usually based on our own historical stories and our memories. So what does the color blue mean for you? In general terms, it means communication and speaking. But it can be the school colors that you wore in your uniform. It can be the house that you had at sports. It can be your favorite footy team. All of these different aspects of memories are going to interact and create different subtexts based on those meanings. So don't get fixated on it meaning only one thing. Practically every word in the dictionary has multiple meanings of that same word. Symbology is much like that. You're going to have multiple layers of meanings, and especially when you link them together. And it's when you bring them together to create a story. Think about it when you're doodling and drawing pictures. Emojis on text. How many of us can talk to each other via emojis between friends or family, and nobody looking at it would ever be able to interpret that? It's just a different subtext of communication. And it is something that you have to build up to and work to with your guides, with the people in your life, and with the spirit team that's there, or the universe, to guide your way. They are just there to help steer you back onto the pathway and realign you to where you're going. The repeated signs are there simply because we don't pay enough attention. And if you don't act on it the first time, so I know people that can get haunted by signs and they'll see it everywhere. I know people that utilize signs, and there are a lot of people out there that utilize it as a manifesting tool. That if this is the right place or property for me to buy, or the big card for me to buy, show me my sign. We choose a sign and say, I want to see this sign, and I know that's exactly what I want to do next. So there's different ways you can utilize these sign symbols and tools throughout the spiritual awakening journey. Talk to other people and ask, how do they utilize their different signs? For me, to know something that's right, or I want to really know that this is the exact thing for something major in my life, my sign is an elephant because it's my sign of abundance. And usually when I know this elephant turns up, and sometimes I'll just get inundated with elephants through my Facebook feed out of nowhere, and I know something big is going to manifest, and it's not let me down yet. So find something that's meaningful to you and for you, and ask the universe to show it to you. Because if you can manifest that sign, you can manifest anything. I have a meditation that I help people connect to a sign from the universe if you can't choose one for self. But if you choose something that is totally meaningful for you, and ask your spirit guides that if this is the right pathway for me, if this is the right thing to buy, just say you're going to buy a new house. I want to buy a new house, and I'm debating between this one over here and that one over there, and ask them which one. Ask them to show you the sign associated with each one. And trust me, it'll turn up, because the universe is always conspiring to communicate with you. You just got to hope that you pay attention to it. I know of a famous spiritual person that when she was buying her house with her husband, they were searching all over America, and her sign actually is the owl. And she said to spirit that she needed to see this owl to see if it was the right house. And they left her a card. These people didn't even know her. And they left her a card and wrote in it, and the picture on the front was an owl. And if that was not a greater sign from the spirit community to tell you that's the right thing to do, I don't know what is. Using your signs and journaling with them, reflecting on them, becomes important, because you do want to create deeper meaning for them. The aspect of all of the communication that you're going to have with your spirit guides needs to be more than just one word. We need to build stories from that word. What does it mean? What is it telling me? How can I expand on it? How does it show up? And also, don't forget to ask for clarity. If you get stuck, your spirit guides, your higher self, will always give you more information. And sometimes one sign isn't the only answer. As it was with my client the other day, she had 3 separate things that when you brought it all together told the story. So look at the synchronistic events, and sometimes these are turbulent events. They're not always easy. When you're truly awake and you're aligned with spirit and you want signs, they will give it to you with ease. But if you're lost in your head and doing the wrong thing, going against the grain and in sufferance, some of these signs can be quite drastic. Don't allow it to get that way. Really start to pay attention and create this communication for self that will make your life easier. And then trust your intuitive interpretation of it first. And if you get stuck, Google it. You're going to find 1,500 different entries on them. But something specific is going to stand out for you. And the one that hits home, that hits the heart space, that moves you the most, that is the message. It will highlight in one way or another for you. There are other tools to support. There are books, as I've mentioned. There is Google. There are different reference texts. There are books for all different animal communication, the meaning of colors. There are blogs. There are podcasts. There are gurus out there. There are many different ways that you can understand to learn all of this symbology for yourself. One thing I'd like to make sure that you understand, please don't doubt or dismiss your signs, because if you're not getting the messages the first time around, like I mentioned in the last episode, it will come to the terms where it hits your body and you don't need it to get to that phase. When something is truly important to you, the universe will do everything in its power to steer you in that right direction. Don't ever let it get to the worst case scenario. You quite frankly deserve better. So open your eyes, awaken, ground yourself, and look at what is right in front of your face. Because let me tell you, when the signs start to appear, they are smack dead in the middle of your life. And they turn up over and over and over again. Pay attention to them. You deserve to understand and connect with this. Don't overthink it or overanalyze it. Trust the gut instinct, the first message that comes. Be very mindful of asking the wrong people for advice, because there are many people out there that are going to want to put their own spin on the meaning of things. A sign is for you. A symbol is for you. You need to attune to your meaning of it, not mine, not anybody else's. I can help guide your way and ask you out of what different interpretations, which one hits home the most. But trust your instincts over anybody else's, because you never know the agenda that they're carrying on behind the scenes. And learn to trust in the timing of spirit. We all want everything yesterday. I know I do. But universe has its own timeline, and you will be diverted there in every way that you can to make it easier. Don't try to rush it. The more you push it, the harder it gets. Because when you are in alignment and flow, the symbols and signs come thick and fast to show you that it is the correct and right way. When you're looking at the different signs out there, usually they are going to appear multiple times. 3 is usually the minimum. Can be as many as you like, depending on how long it takes you to get awareness of it. But even one simple sign, there is no coincidence in life. Whenever you're going about your day and things happen or you see things, just ask yourself the question, what does that mean for me? Is it trying to tell me something, or is it just a passing fancy? Not everything is a sign, but most of it is. Because quite frankly, we walk around with our eyes closed. So when you are noticing something, you've noticed it for a very specific reason. This takes time and practice, and you're going to put effort into it. Create a journal, create a dictionary, create your own shorthand. Because once you get it, it makes your life so much easier. And we all want ease and flow, right? One of my great symbols is the 888, because I've even got it tattooed on my left wrist, because my name, all the letters in my name adds up to an 8. My date of birth adds up to an 8, and I'm born at 16 minutes past 1, which is another 8. So I know when I see that sign, and I'll see it in phone numbers, bank accounts, number plates, signs everywhere, in Facebook messages or Instagram posts, I know that it's very, very important to me. 888 is also the Lionsgate portal. Being a fire sign, and with my rising sign being a Leo, that Lionsgate portal is a very powerful and enigmatic energy for me. You are going to have your own unique signs. Utilize them in the best way that you know how, and trust that's yours. Don't try to copy anybody else's. Don't try to look for other people's signs. Your spirit guides, the universe, are communicating with you on an individual basis. Find something that's meaningful for you. I would love to hear your insights and feedback on the episode. If you have any questions, please reach out and send me any questions. If you want more clarity, I'm happy to revisit the topic, as I will do some revisiting to some of these down the track, depending on the feedback that I get. But your spirit guides are here to communicate with you. Your soul is always talking to you, and your intuition exists within you. They will utilize everything in their power to garner your attention. So when you snap out of that unconscious modality of going through life in automation and you become aware and you become mindful and you become present, pay attention, see what the different symbology means to you, and just ask yourself, how can this improve my day? Because all of it is to guide you to more ease and flow in your life and to create happiness, joy, and everything that you desire. We manifest everything our life through our thought creation, our action taking, and the vibrational frequency that we put out to the universe. Take your power back. Pay attention to what's happening around you and look for signs in everything, because it would just make your life easier along the way. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and enjoy the channel. I love all feedback. You can contact me on Facebook and all of the links are in the text down below. Until next time, let me be your guide on earth. Thanks for listening to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below so you don't miss an episode. You can also follow us on Facebook with the links below. Until next time, trust your intuition and let your spirit soar.